Hi guys, so I'm finally sitting down to record the entire story of what happened when Michelle was born, because she was born about a month ago and I was induced. Okay, so so she was born on the Monday. So back up to the Thursday. No, the Wednesday. I was getting really intense Braxton Hicks on the Wednesday as I was walking home from getting a drink. And, lay down, had a shower, had some water. Slowly started to go away. Great. Thursday, Matt was saying he was tired, so when he got home, he took a nap. And about 6 o'clock is when I started noticing things. I was starting to get some really intense, not pain, but uncomfortable. As different than the Braxton Hicks I'd been getting. So I was like, okay, is this contractions? Like, I don't know. Like, is this how it starts? No idea. I've never had them. So I dealt with it for a while, Again, had some water, got up, walked around, because sometimes that can change things, and that's what the nurse always said in our prenatal classes, like, get up, walk around, do something, like, don't just sit there. So, okay, cool. After a little bit, Matt woke up, and he notices I'm really uncomfortable, and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm gonna go check the mail, which the mailbox, is not that far. Like, if I stand, like, basically up on my walkway, I can see the mailbox. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go check the mail. I haven't checked it in a bit. And Matt came with me because he's like, I don't know, like, you look like really not okay. No, I'm fine. So check the mail, come back. The problem was the pain was never going away, so I was trying to time them because I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is contraction. So it escalate and then it de-escalate, but it was never going back down to zero. So I was like, okay, let's go for a walk. Let's see if that'll help. Change anything? I don't know. So we went for a walk, and basically from our house to the main road is about a 10-15 minute walk. Because I was so uncomfortable, it took us almost 20 minutes to get halfway down the street, and then I had to sit down because I'm like, I'm dying. So got home. So we came home. So eventually we came home, and we're like, Matt's like, maybe we should go to the hospital. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, and I'm really uncomfortable. I don't know what's happening. So we went to the hospital. They did the test, and they're like, yeah, you are having contractions. And some of them were coming on pretty quick, pretty short together, and then they checked me, and they're like, yeah, you're dilated, and the doctor's like, yeah, you're probably going to go into labor in the next 24 hours. Great. So Friday, Matt went into work, passed off work to do, and told them, like, hey, Katie's in labor, so I'm done. So Matt's actually off for the month. He goes back either end of next. I think he's going back for a couple days next week, but he actually officially goes back the week after next, so like the first week of July. So get home, and again, happens the same thing, like the contractions, like they're getting stronger and they never fully go away. Go back to the hospital because I'm like, they're not going away. I don't know what's happening. I'm getting really frustrated. I was getting really frustrated, like irritated, so I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, this is getting really uncomfortable. So I go in again, and this time my blood pressure's up. So they had to do blood tests and a urine test, and they're like, that doesn't show off anything abnormal, especially because my blood pressure has been fine the entire time. That's not been an issue. But they're like, unless your water breaks or you experience these issues, which would be blood pressure, high blood pressure issues, they're like, don't come back until Sunday. We'll check you again. make sure it's not there's no blood pressure issues. So Saturday, I basically spent the entire day on the couch because I was so tired and I was so drained. I was like, because I did not sleep very well. I didn't sleep very well near the end of my pregnancy anyways, but the fact that I was kind of having off and on contractions, I was just not comfortable. Nothing was comfortable. I was done. So we were like, okay. Nothing happened. Sunday we go in at 10:30 and they check my blood pressure again, and blood pressure was lower than the couple days before, but still a little on the high side. The blood work was a little abnormal, so they're like, you know what? We're going to induce you. I was like, okay, I'm having a baby today. So, so they gave me food. I was able to eat because I didn't have the epidural till late. So 2:54, they broke my water. Matt left to go do stuff, do some running around and all that. So they broke my water at 2:54 p.m. on Sunday. They started the oxytocin at 4 o'clock. I started doing hard labor at 6. And the doctor said, like, hey, you know, what's your game plan? I'm like, well, I don't really want to do the epidural because I don't know what to expect. But he said, if you've been doing hard labor for a couple hours and you're not past 5 centimeters, he's like, you know, I do suggest doing the epidural. Just because it will relax your pelvis. It'll help things progress a lot faster and a lot easier. And also that way I could get some rest. I'm like, okay, we'll see, you know, kept that in the back of my head. Like, epidural was never off the table. It just wasn't my first option. So I was doing really hard labor from, like, my contractions were patterning out as either 4 minutes or 2 minutes. And they even said when you're induced, because you're being forced into contractions, that it is more intense than a regular labor. So 9 o'clock, my nurse, who I absolutely adored, she was amazing. My nurse says, like, okay, you know, the anesthesiologist is going to be going from the OR to a C-section within the next hour, so we have to make a decision by 9:30. I'm like, cool. I'm like, give me a half hour, then check, see how far I've dilated. I'm like, then we'll make a decision. By 9:30, I was really uncomfortable. I was in a lot of pain. I was almost in tears. I could not handle it. I'm not very good with pain, but I was, you know, I was really trying to stick it through because I'm like, I don't really want it. I didn't really want the epidural, like I said. But then by 9:30, she checked me and I was just, like, literally within the last 10 minutes, she said, you probably just got to 5 centimeters. So, like, are you fucking kidding? So I gave up and got the epidural. So, I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. I'm like, I am at my wit's end. I cannot do this. I cannot go any farther without something. So the nurse yanks open the curtain, goes into the hall and says, can I get some drugs? And my mom and my mother-in-law were there. My mom's like, can I get some drugs too? Like, is that an option? So, yeah. So as we were waiting for the anesthesiologist who was able to, because it was happening earlier, I cue my meltdown because, like I said, I did not want the epidural, but I was there and he's like, you know, and he's like, you're in a lot of pain, this will make it a lot easier, hopefully speed things up, which it did, which let me get to that, but I'm crying because I'm in pain, I'm upset, I'm just not okay. I was like, I didn't want this, but, you know, I knew it was the best thing for myself. So as soon as I got the epidural, which wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, I still was not a fan because, you know, needle in the spine. Afterwards, because my body had been going through so much pain, I was literally shaking like a leaf. I didn't have a lot. It wasn't very. The epidural was not very strong. Like, I had a button that I could click, and I think I only clicked it to increase it once. So, but I got to rest a bit because by 11:30, 12 o'clock, I was 7, and then by 1 o'clock, I was fully dilated, and she could feel her head right there. And after 40 minutes pushing, including the 2 times I had to pause because A, my nurse said she was not catching this baby. B, the cord was wrapped around her neck, so they do delay cord clamping unless they have to cut it. In my case, they had to cut it because it wasn't tight, but it was around her neck, so they knew if I kept pushing, it would tighten. So out of sheer safety, they're like, okay, we're gonna cut the cord. I'd already said, like, Matt, like, give her to Matt first, because, like, I don't, it's not that I don't want to hold her, it's just I've been carrying her for 38 weeks, and we have a bond. Let's get that bond started. And I'm so glad I made this decision, because as soon as she was born, I literally started crying, like uncontrollable crying, which my mom and Matt both figures, like, I just got suddenly seriously overwhelmed, which is possible, I don't know. But my mom's like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't know, I can't stop crying. I'm like, I'm just crying, like, I just cannot stop. Like, they tried to show me her, and I just started crying again. Matt brought her over after Matt got to trim the cord, but Matt brought her over again, and I just looked at her and I just started crying again. Like, I can't breathe because I'm crying so much. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Maybe a mix of overwhelming with everything that happened, and, you know, on top of, you know, my hormones just crash. But I had no tearing, so I had no stitches. So healing has been good, so we're good with that. My only issue after labor was because she was coming out sideways, so they had to keep turning me. And because I turned to one side shortly after my epidural, a lot of gravity happened, so my right leg was super numb. So when my nurse had to seriously help me get up because I could not stand. Like, I could use my left leg a little bit more because it started, like I said, I didn't have a very strong epidural, just enough to kind of kill the pain. But I can't stand on my right leg. I cannot feel my right leg. My entire right leg was numb, like from hip to toes. Like, I could not feel it. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by a blue jay that's flying outside in the trees. But yeah, so my nurse had to help me into the wheelchair because they wheel you into your room, and then my other nurse in the maternity ward had to help me use the bathroom, because when you have an epidural, you have to use catheter, but you have to pee within a certain time frame. After it's taken out, just so your body starts to kick in every so often. So yeah, my leg was so super numb, so my nurse had to help me again, because I told her, I'm like, my leg's, like, but about an hour after I was brought into my room, which was I was brought in about 4:30, 5 o'clock. By 6 o'clock, she came in, she's like, okay, you gotta try and pee. I'm like, I still can't feel my leg at all. It hasn't even gone to pins and needles. It was just starting to go into pins and needles. So, like, okay, I'll give you another hour. Worst case scenario, she's like, I'll just get a wheelchair and I'll help you into the bathroom. So eventually it started to go fine. And then at first PF, like they're not joking, like they're like, because your body's just suddenly now not used to having to pee on its own, it like forgets right away. Why? There are no issues right now. She's going through, Michelle's going through a growth spurt. So she's really fussy and really clingy and really sleepy. So basically she is just extreme version of what she usually does, except she's just really clingy. So last night I slept on the couch because I knew she was going to be really fussy. So I basically just slept with her on my chest most of the night. Actually, I don't think there's part of the night that I didn't sleep with her on my chest. Just when she's really fussy, that's the easiest way to calm her down is I just put her on my chest. Matt does the same thing. I just put her on my chest and she calms right down for the most part. But if it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, I fall asleep too. So quite often I wake up with her still on my chest. But Matt's watched me sleep with her. I don't move. I was so paranoid for the first little while, like when I was middle of the night, because we realized, okay, that was the easiest way to calm her down, is just put her on her chest. Not even skin to skin, just literally just her lying against my chest is just, or like either one of our chests, it just works so much easier. But yeah, Matt's seen me and he's like, you don't move a muscle. I was so paranoid the first time I fell asleep with her because I was fighting sleep. So I'm like, I don't want to sleep. I don't want to roll and have her fall off or whatever. But you learn really quickly that your body is just not going to move. And the second that kid moves, you're up. So that is my labor and birth story. Try getting back into the videos soon. I'm sorry, this is like super long, but from the time they broke my water to the time she was born was 11 hours. She was born at 5 to 2 in the morning. So yeah, fun times.